It's a story that is something probably been followed by a lot of people over the past few months concerning Roseanne and her getting banned, basically wiped off the face of the earth by the media. I believe that for a while, I'm not sure if it's still true, but for a while it was impossible to find the old syndicated Roseanne episodes from the I think the show was on in like the late 90s and then early 2000s. I don't remember when, but for a while after her incident with Valerie Jarrett, they basically made it impossible to find her show, even though the Cosby Show is available and various other shows that all the wine. I was actually watching a film earlier this week that was produced by the Weinstein Company, the a new version of Macbeth. That it was produced by the Weinstein Company. That didn't get hidden away by Google. Google actually sells Weinstein movies still because they couldn't sell movies without having. If they would have banned every movie that is basically produced or directed or acted in by some sort of disgusting pedophile, they wouldn't have any movies. So pedophile or sexual harasser or whatever. Weinstein, I don't know if he's accused of pedophilia, but I know it's a lot of sexual harassment. But The Conners is the Roseanne knockoff spin-off that has been going around, and it's basically, this might be one of the worst ideas I've ever heard of, and I haven't seen the show, and I don't think I mean personally, the reason I didn't see the show, and maybe somebody else might be better placed to comment more specifically, because even when Roseanne, the old show, was on, I'd watch it, and sometimes it was kind of funny, but I never really understood what was like so awesome about the show. It was like just something you would watch if it was on, in my opinion. Not bad or good, just like pretty good sitcom. Decent. I had nothing for or against her when she was on TV. I thought she was a pretty good comic. Um, and that was years and years ago. I don't even remember when I used to watch the show. I just remember it was on. So it says here, John Goodman and Laurie Metcalf have learned Roseanne Barr's abstinence could have a dramatic effect on their wallets. The Straight Shooter podcast reports the Conners is already in trouble without controversial comedian Barr around. States that ratings are decreasing every week, and the star's paychecks might soon follow suit. With the sitcom's ratings dropping to 7 million, John Goodman and Laurie Metcalf are too expensive to keep around, a source told Straight Shooter. They both earned $375,000 an episode, a number that was negotiated before the Roseanne scandal. Enough to, enough to increase the chances the show will survive. According to the source, ABC has ordered only one extra episode to be added to the 10 it already contracted for this season, well below the 22 episodes that would have been needed for the Conners to make it through the end of the current TV season. Um, the writing is already on the wall, said a TV insider. The Conners stars hit with pay cut drama amid poor ratings appeared first on Star Magazine. So I want to say something. This is MSN, Microsoft Network, and they're sharing. So they're sharing stuff from the Star, which is a tabloid newspaper, a tabloid magazine. Sorry. So this is something. It's a commentary both on Roseanne the show, and I guess it's now called The Conners, and the so-called establishment mainstream media. Why are they sharing stuff? If MSN, which is owned by the same, I think MSN and MSNBC still have a relationship. I'm not quite sure, but they both used to be linked to Microsoft. But in any case, why is Star Magazine, which has always been kind of a trashy supermarket tabloid with stories about boob jobs and about Prince Charles and about aliens and stuff like that, why is Star Magazine able to continue to make a living and not be hidden by the Google search algorithm or anything? This is basically, we don't know if this is true. It could very well be that the Conners is doing fine. It could be that they're doing worse than this. But the fact is that they are still on TV, even though, to my knowledge, people don't even watch that show. Nobody watched Roseanne in order to see the interplay between Laurie Metcalf and whoever played what's her name's daughter, Roseanne's daughter. It was a show that was tied together by her personality, whether you liked Roseanne or not. I thought her character was pretty good, and she had like very like the one thing that I'll say about the show that I remember, because it's not like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, for example, I would say was the most iconic sitcom of that era for me. And then after that would probably be shows like Frasier, shows like Seinfeld. There were a lot of very quirky sitcoms. So the reason that show Roseanne was good for a lot of people, that even people that weren't necessarily diehard fans of the show, was that she could really drive home irony with her lines. It's not like she was putting together like very dramatic pieces of acting, but her humor was very ironic and wry and down to earth and relatable for people of all walks of life, whether you were working class like the family in the show, or if you were maybe even from the East Coast or something. If you were watching Frasier, for example, I was thinking about this while driving a few days ago. A lot of people really liked Frasier because of the just the weird chemistry between Kelsey Grammer and whatever the woman who played Roz, the Irish woman. The difference between the class differences and everything. The father who was not really into the formal prep school behavior of the kids. I think he was a World War II vet as well. That's what tied that show together. But it didn't resonate as well as Roseanne, because Roseanne's show was a little more about everyday, like working class Americans, just I guess living through trips to the grocery store and stuff like that. And I think to be fair, Roseanne is much less pretentious than a lot of the other stars on TV that you see. I think people have a right to live differently than their characters, but she did make her living claiming all the time to be this all American girl, but housewife basically. Not how I don't remember what she was doing. She worked at like a lunchbox counter, right? Wasn't that like the character in the show? And in reality, Roseanne for many years was kind of a very very left wing figure, because she was extremely anti-war. She was very much part of the opposition to President Bush, I think. So, but I don't think she ever truly betrayed her roots as far as the character in that show. So now that there is no Roseanne, what the hell is this show about? That would be my question. And, I'm not really going to watch the show. I don't think that it's that big of a issue that people like. John Goodman is a great actor. Okay, he's a great actor. I lost some respect for him agreeing to do this. He's been in so many amazing films, and I don't like people I don't like having to really just compartmentalize people that I watch in film or in comedy or musicians just because of their politics. Because I still like John Goodman's films. I think he was in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Where Art Thou? I think he was the guy, the tracker that was trying to find the prisoners. He was also in Inside Llewyn Davis, which is an amazing film. And he was in Big Lebowski, of course. He is an iconic actor. And for him to participate in some sort of crap experiment like The Conners, where they removed the actual star, somebody who she helped his career a lot too. And I think it's ungrateful. And I am rooting for the show to fail. I'm not going to pretend that I'm not. So that's about it. So is this story true that they're going to take a pay cut? I don't know. I don't know what this podcast is, the Straight Shooter podcast. Why would they know before everybody else, unless they had some sort of inside information or something? But let me know your thoughts. Do you watch the Connors? Do you like Roseanne, the old show, as well? Do you like one show more than the other? I think I know the answer. Because I personally think that when you remove somebody who is such a signature act from a show like that, like Roseanne was removed, you're basically betraying the premise of the project. If you want a new project that is with John Goodman or with Laurie Metcalf, I mean you have every right to write a new sitcom or something around that person, or spin-offs have happened before. Um, I think that there was a spin-off from the Jeffersons. Uh, oh yeah, the Jeffersons was a spin-off. The Jeffersons was a spin-off from All in the Family, if you didn't know that. So it's just a completely different show. It's just the characters with Sherman Helmsley's character was originally kind of a foil to Carol O'Connor's from All in the Family. That's some like really old TV history for those of you that know the shows that I'm talking about. But a lot of you probably know the Jeffersons. But yeah, I think this is a really big mistake on ABC's part, and I hope they live to regret it. That's about it. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to my other channel, Razor Ray Live Wounds, if you want to see any live streams, and also please comment on the video and contribute to the Patreon if you want to leave a tip.